Welcome to the Creative Condition podcast with me, Ben Tallon, illustrator and creativity coach, founder of the Creative Condition, artist and writer. I bring 20 years of creative industry experience and a lifelong love of creativity, a fundamental pillar of human happiness, to you through ongoing personal exploration and the shared experiences of others. You'll get a nourishing mix of creative industry professionals and people far and wide using creativity in ways that can take our learning to the next level so we can maximise our unique blend. The show has been supported from day one by Illustration X, a tremendous illustration agency representing a shining global roster of illustrators and animators over at illustrationx.com. The music for the show is by Dirty Freud, who you can listen to now on all good streaming services. And for everything else, for my coaching, resources and inspiration, head to thecreativecondition.com. Morning guys, how you doing? This is the Brew Brain Dump number 2, new format, short stings of episodes where I talk to you for the duration of my morning hot beverage with what's on my mind in relation to creativity, so welcome. If you're more of a long form episode person and you're here for the interviews, then there are some bangers coming up on the show very, very soon, so look out for them. There's also the Creativity Diary where I write slightly more long form, slightly more refined about my ongoing thoughts, observations and musings on creativity. But this really is an unplanned brain dump where I come at you with what's on my brain during my morning drink. It's kind of a journaling, an audio journaling, if you will. So join me. I want your feedback. I want conversations around this stuff. So let me know what's going on in your world, what's going on during your brew. What are you thinking? How are you feeling? Are you good? Are you down? Are you gloomy? What's going on? Let me know. Maybe I can help. So what's going on with you guys? How was your weekend? I hope it was good. Mine was very sunny in the UK, which is lovely. A lot of gardening going on. A lot of running around on flowery fields that I want to call meadows, but the council will come and cut them down to keep them nice and tidy for all those pain in the arse old people who moan about untidiness. But that's another conversation. As ever, coffee, tiny bit of honey. This morning I thought I'd treat myself to get the week started. Don't always have honey. Giving you brew details, that's where we are now. Love a brew. So that's what the idea of this episode is. While I drink my first one of the day, I'm going to talk to you lovely people. So I wanted to talk to you about enrichment and about self-efficacy, creative self-efficacy, which is something I've been reading about this weekend in The Creativity Choice, which is a new book coming out by Zorana Pringle, PhD. The Science of Making Decisions to Turn Ideas into Action. It's a phenomenal book. It's really, really good. There's a lot of echoes with my own second book, The Creative Condition, in that it's something of a creativity biography. However, Zorana, being from the science community, is coming in there with a lot more research and experiments, studies, all that stuff, which I love. I was less of that. I cited a good few in my own book, but mine was very much sort of experience and anecdotal, spliced with bits of research to support the points I was making. Zorana's book is amazing, and so creative self-efficacy, I've been terming this as inner authority and confidence. And I guess it's a cocktail of the two, but what a beautiful term for it. And it's basically your willingness to bet on your creativity, to trust that you are and can be creative, but on a consistent level. Now, Zorana talks about the importance of acknowledging that the creative process involves a lot of pain and a lot of struggle and a lot of up and down. And that's beautiful. It has to be that way. Any new project, blank page, going to doubt yourself. There's going to be ebbs and flows throughout that. There's going to be some days when you can't get going. There's going to be days when you can't crack a concept, when you just do not know your arse from your elbow. And she looks at the science of that and why that a lot of people who don't have a good creative self-efficacy, as in they don't have the confidence that a track record brings, and they don't maybe have the consistency of being creative in their work or in their own time, will run at the first hurdle and decide that it's not for them, they're not good, or they're not creative. Whereas those of us who work on regular projects, maybe we have to lead with creativity in our work. If we're designers, if we are product makers, if we are engineers, scientists, And we know that there's going to be hurdles. Therefore, we come to them and we know we have creative self-efficacy because we've done this before. And therefore, we would take that on board as part of the process and we will power through it no matter what. I thought that was absolutely beautiful. And I've been thinking a lot about that this weekend because I've been doing this for 18 years now professionally. Much longer before that, if you count my education, 7 years prior to that. So let's call it 25 years of facing hurdles, of overcoming them, of finding a solution, of finding a way. And it's only really the doing and the small steps and the confidence that elevates you above that initial doubt and the freak out over the blank page or the new project or the new concept. Anyway, that's what I've been thinking about this weekend. And I also wanted to talk about enrichment. So I've been doing a lot of gardening this weekend, a lot of sunshine. And as a new parent, I don't have the luxury of spending all weekend continuing to draw, to write, to read, whatever the thing is within my creative ecosystem that I might have done when I was a younger man without family responsibilities. And I now look back and I'm sort of glad that I did that back then, but I'm really glad I'm not doing that now and I don't have the time for that anymore because the enrichment I get from my broader life, from playing with the kids in the field, from taking the dog for a walk, from watching films I might not otherwise have chosen to watch, for example, I'm feeling a lot more enriched and my community has developed locally because I'm a parent, so I've got other school parents who are doing cool stuff that I've linked up with. I'm in a group of Salisbury dads where there are gynecologists, there are architects. It's awesome. And I feel enriched. And when I think back to art college, when I maybe felt supercharged and full of magic because it was all new and I was out of the trappings of school and suddenly I was doing something that I was actually interested in and could be good at, that's when I felt like I was bouncing. But do you know what? It wasn't art college. It was the ecosystem beyond it in my life. I would have nights out with the people from college. I would go to new gigs and things like that. Go to exhibitions, things I had never done before, and I felt enriched in my life. And I think it's utterly crucial to the creative process that we don't just pour all of our energy into our practice. Because if you do that, even that becomes boring quite quickly. I know you've all felt that, so it's really important to acknowledge it. And this is something I go through in my coaching with my clients. I look at what are you doing, what are you into, what are you excited about? And when people come back and say, well, not a lot, I just sort of watch Netflix in the evenings, it's alarm bells. And there's a major point when I go to write up their notes. And because what I do is I do the pit stop, work through their whole ecosystem, and then I come back with notes of recommendation. So I recommend that you get out there, you go to libraries, you go to galleries, you go and see some music, you get on a train and go somewhere you've never been before. You start enriching yourself in your life by hanging out with interesting people, by going to do things, by getting out of your comfort zone and habits and routines and feel energized and engaged in your life, because I can guarantee you that if you don't, whether you're in a job in an agency or whether you're working freelance, whatever it is you're doing, whether you're a scientist, whether you're a lawyer, you know what I mean? Lawyers need to be creative. You won't do that to its potential if you're not enriched in your broader life. So that's a big reminder this weekend, because I'm trying to come off Meta. Sounds like an addiction, doesn't it? Maybe it is. I'm trying to come off Meta because they're just behaving like complete CUNTs. And what's lovely is I recognise the habit. So when I saw something interesting over the weekend, my instinctive response was to photograph it explicitly, to share it. And I thought, okay, with who? Because now I'm not going to go on Instagram. I'm going to try and quit that completely. I don't want to go on LinkedIn on the weekends. Good God, imagine. Joking aside, I've got a lot of people I love on there, but it's a business platform. It's very much work-oriented. So, no, I don't want to do that. Therefore, there's nowhere for me right now to publicly share this. And that was lovely, because I began to wean myself off doing that and just enjoy the moment and be even more enriched. Anyway, that's it. They're my thoughts with this morning's brew. That's what I'm on. What do you reckon to that? I'd love to hear yours. Big thank you to Illustration X, as ever, for sponsoring this. Looking for new partners at the minute. If that sounds of interest, come and support some creativity. Give me a shout. I'll give you the numbers. We can go from there. If you're interested in some coaching, I'd love to look at your situation and do some of this stuff with you. I do the pit stop, one-to-one session. It works with people in agencies and organisations. It works with freelancers. It works with absolutely anybody. There's a massive framework taking into account all of the makeup of creativity, and it keeps developing as I read and learn more and explore this theme more. But I absolutely adore helping people, hearing your personal circumstances, hearing what pisses you off, hearing what upsets you, what worries you, what freaks you out. What are your insurmountables? Are you worried about misogyny in the world? Are you worried about Reform UK in the UK, the dickhead party? It could be anything. Do you know what I mean? We work through all of it and we get your creativity realigned and get you on the right path. Love to work with you guys. So give me a shout. Any ratings, reviews, subscribes, massively welcome. I'll see you for the next brew. We've got an episode coming out this Wednesday. I think it's going to be a diary episode this week, and then into a couple of guest episodes that I've got lined up for you lovely people. So thank you for listening as ever. This is The Creative Condition. I'm Ben Tallon. Have a wonderful week. Enjoy your brew. Enjoy your day. Nice one, guys. Take care.